I guess the question would be, how is the state of the town?
North Attleboro is doing great. Financially, we're well positioned. There's a number of things that are happening that have influenced and put us where we're at today. One, I would go back to some of the decisions that we made as COVID started to, impact the community a couple years ago. We did a hiring freeze, that's been lifted. We did a spending freeze, that's been lifted. And as we went into the next budget year, our departments did a very good job at managing their budgets and making sure that they had everything that they needed and meet all town needs. And then we had paused the capital improvement program for a very short period of time and then kicked it off and then went gangbusters with it. And so we're in the middle of fixing facilities, buying much needed equipment to ensure that all the services that we provide the town are still in place. DPW was one of the big recipients of some of those capital dollars. They've gotten some new equipment, some new snow plows, right? Some new snow blowing and handling equipment, which came in, we were able to put to use this past weekend. We emphasized and made important the finishing the community school roof and getting that done. We made some efforts to buy some hybrid fleet, vehicles for the town that are actually coming in very handy now, saving us money because we're not putting as much gas into it, and as gas prices, have really dramatically increased over the past few months here.
I hate to play devil's advocate,
Sure.
but let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Would North Attleboro be in as rosy a position financially if not for COVID and all the federal money?
Well, I think I think we would be good, but probably not as good as we're doing today. Look, we're very thankful for the federal money and the state assistance that we've received, no doubt about it. The CARES money came to about $2.5 million, and that has enabled us to spend that $2.5 million instead of spending general budget money, the general fund. We now are set up to receive approximately $8.7 million from the American Rescue Plan Act, the ARPA Act, and we just got the final guidance on that. That is going to provide us the ability to do some of the things that we were only talking about doing, right? That we knew that we would like to do, but maybe we didn't have the finances or didn't have it today to be able to do it. Now we're going to be able to do it. One of it's going to be the refurbishment of the Allen Avenue School into a new community center that's going to reach out and impact our seniors. Lenore's Pantry, we're going to partner with the Hockomock Y to build a regional food bank out of there, and we're looking at veterans. We're looking at making that a health and human services hub for the community. But we had a facility that we were putting minimal dollars in to maintain. All likelihood we would have sold it, and then maybe one day probably have had to rebuild or build a senior center that would have cost 25 million. For a lot less than that, we're going to go back and refurbish an existing piece of property that we have and provide valuable services to the community.